Welcome everyone. We've got the Storm Arena Street Fighter Alpha Ryu. This is the second release in their new Storm Arena line. In the US, these are going to be marketed as Street Fighter Alpha. I believe if you pick these up in China, Asia, I think these say Street Fighter Zero. So packaging is similar as the first release with Ken. They got the Alpha 3 portrait on all the sides, the Alpha 3 logo on the top, some information on the bottom, and then on the back you get to see Ryu in a bunch of different poses from the game, which is nice. And it is a little rattly. I think that's probably the figure stand that they come with. So let's go ahead and open it. And comes with the same stand that Ken came with. We'll take a look at that. And then these are his accessories. He's got an extra portrait. He's got a fireball. He's got fireball throwing hands, and he's got an extra bandana piece. And then there's also a little backdrop in here, if I can get it out. And that's his backdrop, which is his stage from Street Fighter Alpha 3. So it's actually pretty nice. It's kind of thin cardboard, but the printed area is very nice, and it's got this glossy print thing going on. So let's actually get this out. So the stands, at least this part, is kind of like the ones that came with the original Storm collectibles. This is a whole new thing. It's kind of like Marvel Legends style ratcheting stand, so you can do these, kind of up in the air poses. They have these sectional pieces also, so that you can decide how large, how tall you want this pod to be. And it is kind of interesting that this comes in 2 pieces. And then it's got a hole for the stand. Just plug that in. And that is good to go. You can also use this metal stand with it if you prefer more of a metal style grip. But this is also friction too. It's just that it's plastic. So if you're worried about it breaking, you can use the metal one. So it looks like the extra bandana is exactly the same. I guess it's if you lose it, or maybe you want to go ahead and attach it to the alternate head. I am noticing this Ryu's eyes are painted. He kind of looks like he's looking off to the side. I do not like that. It's very subtle. If I had to guess, this eye is the one that's mispainted, the one on the left. But that is a little unfortunate. I might try to get that replaced. It's not too noticeable, but it's noticeable. And so he's got the Hadouken hands. They're nice and squishy. Not like he holds any weapons or anything, but that's always a plus. And then that alternate head portrait is pretty good. Yeah. And if you're not used to, if you didn't see the Ken review, these guys have very similar structure to the original Storm Collectibles figure line. I do feel like the plastic is a little bit harder, although they still have the rubber chests, and the gi is separate and rubbery. They do have butterfly joints, very, very extreme chest butterfly joints. So, you want to get him into a Hadoken forming pose, you can do it very easily. The neck is double hinge, so neck floats. There's dumbbell to the neck, and then dumbbell from the neck to the torso. The Ew, that comes off pretty easily. The abdomen. So he's got like this swivel abdomen, but then he's got a dumbbell at the bottom, and I believe he's got a dumbbell at the where the chest and the abdomen meet. So there's a lot of posability you can get out of that. And the rubber gi doesn't seem to be getting in the way at all, which is nice. He does have drop down hips. They are pretty tight, so I would say, be careful posing this guy for the first time. Double knee, full motion there. Very extreme motion in the feet. This is like the one time a character needs to have like extreme foot motion, and he's got the toe articulation. And then the hands are kind of like that Mafex Hot Toy style hand wrist joint. So you can basically, get that back and forth motion in any direction that you need to get him posed up good. And out of the box, he's pretty posable. He doesn't feel like he needs to be warmed up. Maybe the hips. The hips probably the only place that he needs it if you're going to do it, but he is pretty posable for the most part out of the box. And this stand is going to give you a lot of room to do stuff. I probably would say kind of be careful with the plastic because, yeah, it could snap, but you can get him in a dragon uppercut pose or hurricane kick pretty easily. And for the most part, it just works. Other little tiny little things, there's nice texture on the gi. So they've included some texture there. There's even some texture on the belt. The gloves are kind of smooth. And the hair is a separate piece, which is nice because it gives this nice look to the figure. Like trying to do this like with paint would probably be horrible. So technically, he's got like this hair helmet that looks like it's glued onto the top. So that gives it a even better, more premium look. And comparing him to old Storm Collectibles, here is a Ryu from their Street Fighter V line. So you can see height difference is huge. And then they eventually took the Akuma body from Street Fighter V and did a Ken and Ryu with it. This body's even way taller, way chunkier. And here is Ken from the first release. And obviously these go pretty well together. You can tell there's a lot of reuse. The gi is the same. Overall structure is the same. The heads are different. That's really it. Accessories, of course, but that's kind of it. They're pretty much clones. And then we've got Jada, same skill, a different Ryu. This is meant to be a Street Fighter II Ryu. One thing that's kind of noticeable is the pliability of the gis are pretty similar. Plastic quality is too. The only big difference, I would say, is the lack of toe articulation in the Jada. But outside of that, these are pretty straightforward figures, pretty comparable. The Jada doesn't have the ab crunch cut, the additional joint like Storm Arena does. That's only one other thing of note. And then thinking about, Marvel Legends and Gamerverse stuff, here he is with a Wolverine from the X-Men 97. This is not the Gamerverse Wolverine, but, just to give you some ideas of, how this guy will stack up with some Marvel Legends. So overall, pretty great figure. I'm still looking forward to seeing what Jada would do, but outside of that, these are great. These are super great figures. They have a tad bit more articulation than Jada. If you got Jada and didn't get these, I don't think the day would be over, and vice versa. But if you want to have all the figures, you want to get these. So there's that. Plus, they got these really nice figure stands, so that's also a nice touch. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. And as always, tune into more videos coming up. Thank you.